All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Toning 101, week 2. Today, we're going to take you through my last week. So taking you through the numbers, how I did, and what I'm kind of doing right now in terms of some of these lower numbers you see right here. We're also going to go through like a progress report in terms of pictures and measurements and that type of stuff in the next segment. And then afterwards, we're going to finish off with some workout footage, and I'm going to take you through that. So here we go. All right, so let's explain what's on the board. So last week, I'm just going to go through average weight. I'm not going to take you through everything, but average weight last week was 196.25. So did I get that right? Yeah, I did get that right. So we're going to take you through the numbers here. I skipped a few up here, which were, I spent a weekend at home. So I was at like my parents' place. I was like not really tracking. So there were some higher numbers. The first day I came back, I was at 199. I took that out of the equation more or less just because it was like a water weight bloat and just like, not because I'm avoiding it, but basically just because it throws the numbers off a little bit more. So I started here on the Tuesday when I got back. Average weight came out to 194 point, what was it? 194.9. So basically down about a pound and a third or so. And other than this 196 that jumped quite a bit from where I was heading due to these lower numbers, which I'll talk about in a bit, we're probably actually looking like, if it wasn't for this and I actually stayed on track, we're probably looking at like, I'm probably losing close to about a point, like 1.5 to 2 pounds a week if I'm sticking to what I'm doing, which I'll get into. But that's about what to expect based on what I'm doing here. And after I got back from that weekend, I decided I've got a bachelor party weekend coming up for one of my best friends. I got a week away. I was just like, I'm just going to go do like 3 weeks. Actually, at first I said 4 weeks, but we're going to do 3 weeks of just like something a little bit more, a bit of a sprint. And what I mean by that is I'm going to go on lower calories and be really diligent for the next 3 weeks, hermit a little bit, maybe don't do as much socializing and just kind of get the job done because dieting kind of sucks. And you can do this if you want to. There's no harm in going lower calories. So for me, I took 1,600. Some days might be lower. What you see here is a day I went over. Now, some people might say that, like you did these low days and then all of a sudden you had to splurge. Like, is that going to keep happening? That's an argument that you can actually make. And if this kept happening and I went like 5 days and then 5 or 6 days, and then all of a sudden I had these days all of a sudden, keep in mind my average calories across this is still 1,800. And across without it, it's probably closer to 1,600. Seems pretty obvious. So if that kept on happening, maybe it'd be a problem, but realistically, I'm just going to get back on track. I'm actually doing a fasting day, or not a fasting day, but a very, very low calorie day just to bring it back to an average of 1,600. So I'll talk about that later. But basically, for the next 3 or so weeks or 2 weeks from now, I'm going to be going really low calorie, probably dropping close to about 2 pounds a week as long as I stay on track with it. And then take a little bit of a break as I go on vacation. And that's the point I want to make is you can't go too low on calories in a short amount of time as long as you're willing to stick with it. And I think the big problem with people going too low on calories is they choose a low number and then they just try and live their old life and go in all the social events that they used to. And that's when it gets really restrictive when you show up to parties and you're eating like 1,200 calories a day. I'm not doing too much the next 3 weeks. And if I do, it's going to be really hard. So this isn't a problem, and I think that needs to be a discussion that people get into is that like if you eat too little like for a short period of time, nothing really bad is going to happen. So I'm going to show you that over the next few weeks. But basically down a little bit. This is my lowest average weight so far. I started around 210, 212. So we're down, getting down 15 pounds basically. So I expect this to be lower next week, and I'll take you through what I'm doing after this just to create a discussion on like whether you're supposed to make up for this mistake or whether you should just go back to your plan. And the truth is both or either, but I'm going to get into how I played it and how that ended up playing out over the course of the week we are currently in. So that's it for today. Things are looking good. Things are feeling good. And then we're going to get into the progress and pictures right now. And we're back for the part that I hate. So every week we're going to come back with before and after pictures or progress pictures. And I think it's just super important because if you are paying attention to fitness, you are being bombarded with before and afters or progress pictures, which I think it's important to say that in most cases that you're seeing these online, they are meant to sell, meaning they are 12-week transformations from some sort of program that someone's offering. They are the 1%. They are like, they're not meant to educate in most cases. They're meant to, what they often do is make you feel like you're not doing very well, but also they're out there for the intent to sell for the most cases. And that's, if you're in fitness, that is actually a necessary evil. And I think that's just the honest thing to say. I'm going to come on here and show you my week to week. So week to week, I shouldn't be expecting big changes. I have mine right here. They'll pop up if they haven't already. I don't know what he's planning on doing, but that is from, the first one is from December 26th, I think. And so I was probably a little bit bloated, but not to say that's an excuse, just out of shape. God, I hate this. But that was around 210, 212, 38 and a half around the belly button was the measurement, 38 and a half inches. Now today, looking like, honestly, actually, this is an important point. The longer you look at these pictures, the less sensitive you'll be to them. So when I first look at these, I'm like, holy shit, I look like crap. If you just like put your pictures away for a bit and look at them later, and especially if you put them side by side like I have them, you'll see them a little bit more clearly. But the first time you look at them, you'll probably not like them as much. And that's important because no one likes their pictures, especially after 4 weeks. So this is about, 4 months or so? Not perfect throughout the whole process, but some very obvious changes coming at you. And clearly I'm leaner all over. Leaner in the face, of course, making a stupid face in the latest one, but obviously leaner around the shoulders and chest, and obviously still holding some stuff around the belly though. So I've got what am I talking here? Probably I'm at, as of this morning, 192. I can easily lose another 15 to 20 pounds. And that would probably surprise people to say you're going to go down to 170, 175. And I'm not saying I'm going to do it. I said I was going to go down to 180 and reevaluate, but I clearly have I could lose that much at 6'1", looking at these pictures. But I just think it's important to go over these to tell you what I'm seeing, so that, for one, I think people need to just see that what's actually changing on a week to week basis. Yeah, I think that's all I've got for you. But basically that's 4 months. That's starting December. That's 4 inches off the waist. That is about somewhere close to 15 pounds off, 15, 17 pounds off type of thing. That's what it looks like. We'll come back next week and we'll probably compare this week's to last week's, or this week's to next week's pictures. And we'll continue to do that on a daily basis, just so we're checking in with measurements and pictures, and just so you can actually see the change that's involved. On second thought, let's keep going with this. We were just talking, and I think there's more I want to get out about this. So the before and after, the before picture, it's a hard thing to post the pictures, especially in my spot. Most people are going, I'm well aware that most people are going to be like, thanks for being real, and that's vulnerable of you to post those pictures and stuff like that. I get that. It's still hard in my position to post those pictures of me being, and I need to be clear on what I view as out of shape. Out of shape in context is I'm supposed to be in shape. I think that's a reasonable expectation of me in my position. I also realize that to some people, my picture on the left, or my before picture from December, me being out of shape in from my perspective, could be a lot of progress for other people. So I do have that in perspective, but how that happened, that's, for me, that's out of shape. And for me in my position, I consider that to be unacceptable. That's why this is kind of hard to post. But that just came from a lot of late nights, a lot of eating like an asshole. I was very focused on my business. I was I don't have any regrets about it. And I wasn't losing control. I kind of knew I was doing that. I wasn't working out as much, just eating on the go, freely, a little bit the way I wouldn't suggest people should be eating in this day and age, with the fact that food is just everywhere. But I also wasn't uncontrolled about it, in that I was kind of allowing it to happen. So got up to 212. As far as I'm visibly probably uncomfortable with it, but also something that I knew I could deal with, even if it was going to be a headache. We're 4 months in, it's going to take a while. Anyways, that's kind of how that happened. Just a lack of focus on fitness in general, and health, and even health, but more focus on just I was working a lot, I was staying out late, I was going out with friends and that type of thing. As far as tracking progress though, we're tracking measurements at the belly button, just an easier place to wrap the measurement around. I take pictures. We're taking pictures on a weekly basis right now, but I have clients take them on a monthly basis. The other way is obviously by the weigh-ins that we've talked about prior. And those three methods to extract the information we need in terms of progress. And when I'm like, it's important to realize that when I'm looking at pictures week to week, I'm not expecting a big change week to week, and I have a pretty good eye for it. But what I'm thinking in terms of am I making progress or not, for me right now, I know that average weigh-in going down means fat loss. So like week to week, if that's happening, I'm good. I know measurement around the waist, if that goes down, it's indicative of fat loss, even though that can fluctuate with weight as well. So I'm not looking at it on a week to week basis very seriously. I know right now, as long as my weight is going down and my strength is staying around where it is, or I'm getting stronger, and right now I'm still in a position where I can be getting stronger because I've been stronger before. As long as I'm doing that and weight is going down, I know that I'm losing fat at a very good rate. So just to give you an idea of how I look at the 3 different ways I track progress without getting on a body fat measurement or like a DEXA scan or taking calipers or in-body or all this stuff, I look at those 3 measurements, and those give me all the information along with my calorie intake to know when to change calories, if to trust the process or anything like that. So I just wanted to go over that a little bit. And if anyone's got any questions about that, hit the box below or send me a line over email or something like that. But those numbers give me everything I need to know aside from, how I'm feeling and all that stuff.